Today I'm going to show you how to research new clients that you can send your work to. This whole process took me just over 2 hours and I got the names and email addresses of nearly 50 clients. I got a copy of NC State Alumni magazine in the post a couple of weeks ago, and it's packed with illustration. We've got a cover collage, some portraits, some infographics, conceptual illustrations, a sort of print ad here, some feature illustrations for articles, lots of different uses and lots of different styles. And this isn't unique to this magazine. Loads of the American university magazines are like this. They seem to love illustration. So I thought it would be a good opportunity to share a process for researching clients. I'm going to share my screen and walk you through the whole process so you can repeat it and get a list of verified leads you can send your illustrations to. And this applies to any kind of client too, not just magazines. If you have any requests for future videos, stick them in the comments. I'm here to answer your questions, so ask away. And let me know if you want to see more videos like this too. There are lots of different niches and industries we could explore. Branding, advertising, publishing, whatever. I also want to take the opportunity to plug my book, The Illustrator's Guide. If you like the tips in this video, then you'll be blown away by the book because it's way more interesting than watching me do internet research for half an hour. I'm not going to be sharing any contact details of clients here, unfortunately. It's not my place to go sharing people's email addresses online, but hopefully this will give you a framework for finding them yourself. Have fun. So I've started by putting together a simple spreadsheet here, just to keep track of these new contacts. We've got the name of the magazine, name of the college. We want to find out very quickly if they actually use illustration so we don't waste any unnecessary time on researching them if they don't. And there's a quick way to do that. I've set this as a tick box with a conditional formatting. So if it's not ticked, it's red. And if we tick it, it turns green like that. Then we've got 2 columns for the art director's name and their email address. And finally, any other notes we want to make here. I should say I'm definitely no expert when it comes to making spreadsheets, but I don't think this needs to be complicated. You can set this up however you like, whatever makes sense to you. So, time to start the search. I have no idea how many universities or colleges there are in the US. I know a handful from TV, but I'm not going to waste my time trying to remember them. I'm going to set a timer on my phone so you know exactly how long this takes me. Don't worry, I'll fast forward through the boring bits. So I could first try searching for list of American universities. Here's one. And unsurprisingly, it's a very long list. So I might try narrowing this down, and maybe Wikipedia would be a good place to do this. So this is splitting it up by college, but we want to know about the magazine specifically. So let's try list of US alumni magazines. Okay, this looks perfect. Big long list of magazines and their associated college here. So I'll start to copy these over into my spreadsheet and I'll see you back here in a few minutes. So here they all are in the spreadsheet, and you can see that there are 298 magazines that we're going to look at. Now, I don't expect all of these will be useful to us, but even if it's only 10%, that's 29 or 30 new clients that we can start to send our work to. So what I'm going to do here is do a quick Google image search. I'll paste in the name of the magazine, and I'm going to type magazine just to clarify, along with illustration. And we'll just take a quick glance and see what images come up. You know, there's 1 or 2 illustrations here, but actually not that much. So I'm going to leave that one, and then I'll move on to the next one. This one looks a little bit more promising. Possibly. I'll tick that here for now. We may change our mind later. Okay, this one's got some illustrations. I will tick yes here. One or two here. I don't think this one's going to be all that useful for us, so I'll leave that one. Basically, I'm just going to go through this whole list and just see what Google comes out with, and see if I see a lot of illustrations on the Google search page here, then I'll tick yes. This one looks promising, and I'm going to work my way through the whole list, and I'll meet you back here shortly. For any magazines that have a kind of a vague or non-specific name, like here California Magazine, I'm going to add in some clarification here, so I'll add the name of the college too. If I'm unsure about any of these, if I see some illustrations, but I mean these look like they're from books. Maybe that's one for the magazine. Maybe that one is too. But honestly, that looks like a kind of a modern one, and this one too. So there's a little bit of illustration, not much. I'm kind of on the fence about that one. I'll tick it, but maybe we'll change our mind later. For some of these results, I'm seeing a bit of illustration, but I would say it's fairly low quality, or at least a bit of a mixed bag. We've got stuff like this. I'm unclear whether or not Dartmouth, in this case, hires professional illustrators. Some, maybe. But I probably wouldn't add this one in, because it seems like they are hiring cheap illustration, which I don't necessarily think is a good goal. So I'm going to leave this one off. Now here for Eastern Magazine, I'm seeing a bit of illustration here, some collage stuff here, but actually on closer inspection, this article is from Politico, the magazine. This one's from the New York Times, this one's from the Washington Post. So I suspect that these are not actually in Eastern Magazine, but rather these articles reference Eastern Washington, probably just picking up on some of the keywords. In fact, maybe we can just dive in and take a look at Eastern a bit more closely here. Yeah, you see, this is a kind of a bit of a sort of a dull layout. There's some icons and things, but I imagine they're done in-house. I don't see much illustration here, so I'm not going to bother with that. That's not the most enjoyable task, doing that, but I've definitely thinned down this herd, so you can see I've still got a lot of red magazines here that don't use illustration, or if I was kind of on the fence based on what I saw on Google, I just didn't tick the box because there's plenty of green ones here to chase after, so I'm not too worried. And if I just apply a quick filter here, you can see them all together. I don't know exactly how many that is. I'll just count those up. I've just organized them with the green ones at the top. You can cut out the red ones if you like and store them somewhere else. That's probably going to be easiest, just to, I mean, there's so many here, it's going to be crazy if you keep them all in one document. But so we've got 68 or 69 new potential clients that we can send our work to. So the next step, we're going to move on to researching the art director's name. Possibly it'll be a graphic designer or a creative director that we're looking for, but that's cool. We'll work on that later. And that took just over an hour, so not bad. So the next step here is really just to go through this list, copy these into Google, and do some detective work. Now, the way I'm going to do it is copy the name of the magazine and potentially the name of the university or the city, just to get a bit more specific too, along with the words art director. So if I say Inc, I'll put Intercontinental. So this is somewhere else, although that looks like a good lead too. So this is the American Intercontinental University website. Okay, well that's not a good start. So I'm not going to waste too much time now. I'm just going to move on and go to the next one. Okay, this is the one. You can see they've got illustrated covers, quite a few different ones here. I sometimes like to look inside the magazine if that's possible, because often they have the names of the key people that work at the magazine listed in there. I don't see it here. I don't see a contact page really, other than contacting the editor. So you know what, I'm going to put that down anyway. Okay, here we've got editor, associate editor, editor-in-chief. None of those are right. I don't see art director listed, but here's a pitch guide for freelance writers. Let's have a look at this. Okay, this does have an email address for an associate editor for writers to pitch to. I think that person may also take pictures from an Illustrator, so I'm going to chance it. American Magazine, contact us. Okay, yeah, great. We've got an art director's name there straight away. I missed one out. Okay, well, I'm glad I didn't miss that one, because the art director for this magazine has just come up straight away on LinkedIn. So personally, I don't contact people on LinkedIn. Some people do. I don't know if it's a good thing or not. Some people will be open to it, I suppose, and others won't. It sort of depends why they're on LinkedIn. So what I could do here is copy this person's name along with Michigan. See if I can get like a university web page that has this person's details on. Yeah, I don't see it here, but I do see another email address here for somebody that works at the university. Now this tells me what the end of the email address is at umich.edu, and most of these American universities will end in .edu for education, I assume. So I might then go back to this page with the art director's name and just paste in the end there. So here's a staff directory. Yeah, okay. So I've got her name here. And email address. Easy. Next one, Amherst. So here we've got the Amherst College magazine page. This has got some credits for, I don't see art director here. Maybe one of these designers could be suitable, but here is, well, here we go, art director, which is actually this guy, print design director. So let's see. All right, so this is an Illustrator. So now we know we need to get in touch with this person, and I'm just going to Google this person's name with Amherst. All right, so I see this person on LinkedIn, Instagram, and a personal website. Truth is, I would probably not get in touch with any of those. But what I might do is email magazine@Amherst here and address it to this person, and just hope that they will direct it to the right person. No reason why they shouldn't. You're already showing that you've done your research and you know who the person is. So even if you're sending it to a general email address, it would be pretty impolite for them not to forward it to the art director there. So I'm just going to go through a few more of these and see how far I get, and I'll pause on any that I think are interesting or worth talking about, because this is going to be a long process. So I'll see you in a while. Now I've actually already landed on one here, Boston College magazine. Now they've got contacts here. Design director is listed, only a phone number though. So you could potentially, well, I mean, you could definitely just call up and ask if you can send some work. We know the person's name, so we know who to ask for. If that doesn't seem possible for you, we can see here what the end of the email address is. So if I copy @bc.edu, and what I'm doing here is seeing if I can find anybody else's email address to see how they structure their email addresses. Maybe it's first name dot last name @bc.edu. Maybe it's first name last name with no space in between or dot in between. Maybe it's just the first name if it's a small organization. Maybe it's just the last name. Maybe it's first initial and last name. I mean, you could try all these, and there's really no harm in trying any combination you can think of, because all the ones that are incorrect, they're not going to go anywhere, so nobody will ever know. But looking at the rest of the website, I see they only really list phone numbers here, so they seem pretty keen on keeping email addresses private. Fair enough. But I would probably try and have a guess at this. Now, interestingly, for Bostonia here, we've come across the same name for design director here. No contact details, no email address. But this person clearly works as art director, well, design director here for Amherst as well as Bostonia. which is good because you can then email this person once. If you can get through, and maybe he'll have work for one magazine or two magazines, who knows, it maybe even works for more. Now here's the website for Brown University Alumni Magazine team. As you can see here, it's empty. I do see a name here from a third-party website, but this is one of those websites where I think you've got to kind of pay to get people's details. So what I'm going to do is try and see if I can find an issue and see if I can look inside. Here's the magazine. Maybe it's all online. Some illustrations here. Don't see a contact. Let's look at about. Okay, great. And then we've got creative director, which is the same as that third-party website. So I'll just make a note of the name. Now again, we could send an email addressed to this person, but send it to the general magazine email address. I'll just make a note of that here. But maybe I can find this person, so I'll add the name plus at, what was it here, brown.edu. Yeah, I mean, we can find her on LinkedIn there, but I don't see a place where I'm going to find this person's email address. So that's fine. I'll probably try and send it to the general one, but addressed to the creative director, art director. So this one is also at Brown, but this is specifically their medical school. You can see art director here links to a kind of a design branding agency, I guess. So this is really great actually, because we can contact these people, and it looks like they work on quite a few different magazines. Iowa Medicine at Brown, that's the one we're looking at now. So if we can introduce ourselves to these people, this online form isn't ideal, but you could ask who their art director is and if you can send some work. Just checking the about page to see if we can find the right person, and I think we can. So we've got some designers. We also got the creative director here and a dog. Let's try a designer, see if it comes up with an email address. No, it doesn't, but you've got names here, so you could send a message specifically to the person that you want to contact here. And who knows what other kinds of projects that they could have for illustrators. Generally speaking, you can find out the name of a lot of the staff for these magazines. Now, their contact details won't necessarily be listed where you find their name, but then you can type in their name, like I have done here, type in their name plus the university, and we've got a contact page here with the person's email address. So as you can see, I'm building up a nice little list here, and I don't seem to be struggling too much to find people's details. There are one or two that I've had to miss out because I can't find them. A couple of them are going to design studios, where those design studios work on other things too, so I think they're definitely worth getting in touch with. But you could, in theory, state that you want to work for this particular alumni magazine. Or it could just be a more general introduction to your work. Now, I'm also finding that a few of the same names are coming up. I've got a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 different magazines for Columbia here, different magazines. And if I take a look inside the magazine here, and I just zoom in, I can see Design and Art Direction is a name that I've also got earlier on for Brandeis magazine, which maybe they're in the same area, or maybe these art directors, are good at editorial art directing, and they're freelancers just like you are. I'm finding that this website Issue is really useful for looking through a lot of these magazines, because usually somewhere near the beginning you get a list of credits, and here you can see everybody that's contributed to the magazine. Art director here, so we got a name here, and it's looks like a kind of a design agency, and I think I saw that, yeah, here. So this might be an independent designer that's working for the university. We've got a contact page, it's not ideal, but worth submitting your work to all the same, or at least finding out if you can submit your work. So here I've got a creative director on LinkedIn, so I'll just make a note of the name here. But I'll look on their website to see if this person is listed. No, that's just general. So I'll copy this person's name, and then I'll put the name of the university again. And then, yeah, there you go. I see the email address right there. Alright, here's the completed list, and I'm just about at 2 hours and 15 minutes. So, it wasn't the most enjoyable 2 hours I've spent on the internet, but I think I've done pretty well here. Now, there was a few of them that I couldn't find any details for. Given a bit more time, I'm sure I could have found a general email address for the magazine, but I didn't really dig in, because there are so many here that are good leads. I just moved on to the next one. There's no shortage of clients to find. Now, what I've done here is assign them a star rating based on the quality of the information I got. So I'll just sort these out. Now, the 5-star ones are where I've got the name of the art director and their work email address. I haven't used LinkedIn for any of these. The 4-star and the 3 stars are generally where I've only got general magazine email address, or I've got the name of the art director and the general email address. I couldn't find their personal email address. Some of them are freelance art directors who may, I don't think there's any harm in sending work to them. It could even be, even better, because they'll be working on other projects too. Some of them are working with design studios, and then there's about, what have we got, 10, 15 here at the bottom where I couldn't find any details. Some of them I've got the name, but I couldn't find an email address to go along with it. And so I think I've done pretty well, and I'm pleased with this. So there's 28 5-stars. They're hot leads. I'd be sending my work to them tomorrow. And then there's about 20 more where they're kind of, I don't know if it'll get to the right place, but still worth sending the work to and seeing what happens. So all in all, I'm pretty pleased. All right, I hope that was informative. This kind of internet research isn't a fun job, but it is essential if you want to keep busy. This took a couple of hours, and honestly, I wouldn't recommend doing it all at once. If you spread this out over a week and you had 30 to 50 new contacts at the end of it, that's pretty good going. I'll be back soon with more hot illustration tips. See you next time.